Hello everyone, welcome to EduTap and welcome to Finance 360-degree series in which we are going to discuss a very important RBI notification today, that is in regards to the update that has happened in the CTS. So we will discuss that what is the update that has happened, how the batch from the batch system there is continuous clearing that will happen of the checks. So today we are going to have the detailed understanding of this update in the check truncation system. Okay, and what is this check truncation system and all. So today we are going to have the idea and I will tell you the facts that you have to remember from the examination point of view. Okay, so let's get started. Give me a thumbs up if I am clearly audible and visible and everything is fine. So today we are going to discuss this very important RBI notification that is released by the Reserve Bank of India in regards to the update in the check truncation system, and the system has been updated from the batch system to the continuous clearing. Okay, so let's get started with this, and do subscribe to the YouTube channel if you have not subscribed till now to continuously get the relevant videos, as well as do join the Telegram channel where you get the PDF of the session. So in the Telegram channel of EduTap, you can get the PDF of the session and the link for the Telegram channel is provided in the description box below. Okay, so let's get started first of all with today's topic. So RBI has decided to transition the check truncation system to continuous clearing and settlement on realization in two phases. So it has been decided that the check truncation system will be transferred or will be shifted from the batch processing system to the continuous clearing. Okay, so what is the check truncation system first of all? So check truncation is the process of clearing checks electronically by digitizing them, eliminating the need to physically move paper checks from one bag to another. So previously what used to happen, that the checks had to be transferred from one bag to another in the physical form. That means if let's say you are the customer of the State Bank of India and you have got the check from the customer of the ICICI Bank or the SDFC Bank. So basically, if you are the customer of the State Bank of India and you have got the check from some other person. So let's say XYZ person is the customer of State Bank of India and ABC person is the customer of the SDFC Bank. So this XYZ person has got the check from the ABC person, and the XYZ customer is going to its own bank to deposit the check. Now the State Bank of India will transfer the physical check to the SDFC Bank so that the SDFC Bank can see that check and can transfer the money from the account of this ABC to the account of the XYZ. Okay, so this was the process that used to happen previously when there were paper clearing. Then there was the CTS that was introduced. In around 2008, the CTS was introduced, that is the check truncation system. Under the check truncation system, it was said that we are not going to physically transfer the checks, we will electronically transfer the check, or we will electronically process, like we will electronically send the checks. So this is the process of check truncation system where the customer is depositing. So XYZ is the customer of the State Bank of India. So the XYZ is depositing its check to the State Bank of India. Okay, that is the presenting bank. So the bank has got the check from the XYZ. Now this bank is processing the check and is scanning the check. After taking the scanned images and after taking the MICR data, so that is in the check itself, the data is given, the MICR data is there. So after taking the scanned image of the check and the MICR data, this details are being sent, the check details as well as the data is sent to the clearing house that sees that data, that verifies the data, as well as sends further the details to the bank that is known as the drawee bank, that is the bank of the person from whose account the money has to be deducted. So the ABC has the bank account in SDFC Bank. Okay, so it is receiving the check, it will verify that check, it will accept the payment or it will reject the payment, that okay, the check is not honorable or the check is dishonored, the person, the ABC do not have that much money in the bank account and such. So this is the basic idea, this is the process of the check truncation system, that is instead of physically sending the checks, there is the transfer of check that is happening through the scanned images, or the transfer of check is happening digitally through the scanned images. Okay, so this is the whole process of check truncation system. Any confusion, anyone? Any confusion anyone has? All clear? So this MICR is your magnetic ink character recognition. Okay, so it is the magnetic ink character recognition. So basically every check, it has the magnetic ink character recognition, that are some numbers through which the check and the account number are identified. Okay, so basically the customer deposit the check in its own bank where it has the bank account, let's say SBI. The SBI is scanning the image of the check and the MICR data, and then it is transferring the details to the clearing house. Clearing house verifies the basic details, and after that it provides the details, or it provides the check image and the MICR data to the drawee bank from where the money has to be transferred. Okay, so it verifies, again the drawee bank verifies and accepts the payment if the check is honorable. So this is the whole process of the check truncation system. Any confusion, anyone? All clear? So this is the process of check truncation system. Now previously what was happening, that in the batches, let's say from 10 AM to 12 PM, whatever checks you were depositing, so whatever checks, let's say there were 10 checks that were accepted in this time period, then these checks were sent to the clearing house in the batch. The checks were or let's say from 10 AM till 1 PM. In the first half there was the check accumulation that was happening. So the bank, the State Bank of India, is, let's say, accumulating the checks from multiple customers from in the batch of 10 AM to 1 PM. So even if you are depositing, you are depositing your check at 10 AM, in this batch your check will be 10 AM to 1 PM. After 1 PM, the check will be sent to the clearing house, and then the check will be sent in the batch to the drawee bank, and then the drawee bank in the batch will see, let's say the drawee bank is saying the check from 2 PM to 4 PM or 5 PM. So there used to be a batch system where the different checks were accumulated, they were taken from the customer, and in the batch they were sent to the clearing house, and in the batch they were sent to the drawee bank for the verification and for the acceptance. Okay, so there was the batch system that used to happen, and that used to take time. Okay, it usually used to take time T+1 day. So check clearing used to take time. So if you are depositing the check today, by tomorrow, that is in 2 days, the check was getting cleared. So it used to take time, and usually the check was not considered a very reliable means for taking the money. If the seller is selling the product to the buyer and buyer is giving the check, usually the sellers were afraid that what if the check bounces, what if the buyer do not have enough money in their account. So usually the sellers were not happy by taking the check, because check used to take time. So in the statement on developmental and regulatory policy document in August 2024, it was said by the RBI that we are going to move from the batch system to the continuous clearing. Okay, so we will transition the CTS from the current approach of batch processing to continuous clearing, because in the batch processing the checks were collected in a batch, let's say from 10 AM till 1 PM, whatever, like whichever check is coming in this time period, they will be collected together and they will be sent in a batch out to the clearing house, and then they will be cleared by the drawee bank in a batch. Okay, only. So even if you are depositing your check at 10 AM, even if you are depositing your check at 1 PM or 2 PM, let's say if they are coming in the single batch, so all those checks were accumulated and they were sent in the batch system. So rather than having the batch processing, now it is said that we will have the continuous clearing, or the continuous clearing will happen of the check, so that as soon as the check is received by the presenting bank, they will send it to the clearing house, and as soon as clearing house receives the check, they will send it to the drawee bank, so that the checks do not have to wait for their batch to be finished. Okay, so this is the idea that we will move from the batch processing to the continuous clearing. This was announced in August 2024, and here you can see that check truncation system currently processes checks with a clearing cycle of up to 2 working days. That means today the check is received, so by tomorrow the check will be cleared, or tomorrow the check will be settled. So it used to take 2 working days. To improve the efficiency of the check clearing, so to improve the timeline and the efficiency of check clearing and reduce the settlement risk for participants, because sellers were usually afraid that if we are getting the check, or if anyone who was getting the check, they were afraid that what if the check bounces, what if we do not get our payment in the timely manner. So it was risk for the participants, and to enhance the customer experience, it is proposed to transition the CTS from the current approach of batch processing to the continuous clearing, with on realization settlement. That is, as soon as the check is coming in the bank, they will send it to the clearing house so that the clearing house can send it to the drawee bank from where the money has to be taken. Okay. So checks will be scanned. So under check truncation system, this is the digital system where the checks are scanned. They are presented and passed in a few hours, and on a continuous basis they are being transferred. So in August 2024, in the Statement on Developmental and Regulatory Policy document, it was said that we will be presenting detailed guidelines in this regard. This shall be issued shortly. So in August 2025, the detailed guidelines have been released for the check truncation system to work in a continuous manner. So all the banks are advised to make their customers adequately aware that we are moving forward with the check truncation system with the continuous clearing process. Okay. So this is the basic idea. Any confusion, anyone? All clear? So this is the basic idea. Now single presentation session with continuous delivery. So let's say that the XYZ is presenting the check to the State Bank of India. Okay. So basically the XYZ is the one who has got the check, and the XYZ is giving this check to the State Bank of India. This is the presenting bank. This is the bank of the XYZ. Now the State Bank of India has to transfer this check to the clearing house. The scanned images and the MICR data is being transferred to the clearing house. Clearing house, after verifying the basic details, is transferring this data. The scanned images of the check and the MICR data is being transacted or given to the drawee bank. That is the bank from which the money has to be taken to give to the customer. Okay. So drawee bank, that has the bank account of the buyer or the giver of the money. Okay. So this is the drawee bank, HDFC Bank, let's say. Okay. Drawee bank will be the one that will be verifying the details and will be saying that, okay, the check is honored or not, the person has the money in the account or not. Okay. So this is the basic idea. So first of all, single presentation session, if you want to go and get your check cleared, so there shall be a single presentation session from 10 AM to 4 PM. So this is the single presentation session. Now there will be no batches to 10 to 1, 1 to 3, 3 to 5. So will be no such batches. It will be a single presentation session where you can go in between 10 AM to 4 PM. You can deposit your check, and as soon as you deposit your check with your bank account or with your bank, the checks received by the branches shall be scanned immediately and sent to the clearing houses by the banks immediately and continuously during the presentation session. So in between 10 AM to 4 PM, you can go to bank at any point of time and you can give your check, and immediately the check will be scanned and it will be passed forward to the clearing house. Okay. Now when the clearing house gets the check, so the clearing house will in turn release the check images to the drawee bank on a continuous basis. So there is no batch system, there is no collection of the checks until the batch is finished. So there is no batch system now, there is the continuous clearing, or there is continuous presentation that is happening. You can go to the bank, you can go to your bank and you can deposit your check in this timeline, that is 10 AM to 4 PM, and the check will be scanned immediately. It will be sent to the clearing house, and clearing house will further pass on, after verifying the details, the clearing house will further pass on the details to the drawee bank. So this replaces the batch based presentation with the real time flow of check images. This is the idea. Now the drawee bank has received the check images, has received the MICR data. So continuous inward processing and confirmation by the drawee bank. So time window is from 10 AM to 7 PM. So the drawee bank, the confirmation session. So confirmation, the drawee bank has to give the confirmation that the check is honored or not. The check will be settled or not. Okay. The person ABC who has the bank account in the HDFC Bank, that is the drawee bank, this person that has to give the money to the XYZ, do this person has the enough of the money in the bank account or not? So the check is honored or check is dishonored. That means this person does not have money in the bank account. The person has not honored his deal. Okay. So the person does not have enough money in the bank account, so the check will be dishonored. So confirmation session shall start at 10 AM and it close at 7 PM from the drawee bank. For every check presented to the drawee bank, that is every check that the drawee bank is getting, the drawee bank shall generate either positive confirmation that, okay, the check is honored, the ABC has enough money in his account to pass on the money to the XYZ. Okay, so ABC has enough money in his bank account, so the HDFC Bank can transfer the money to the relevant account. Okay, or the settlement can happen of the check. So for every check presented, for every check presented, the drawee bank shall generate either positive confirmation or negative confirmation. If the ABC does not have enough money in his account, so the drawee bank will inform that the settlement cannot happen because the person do not have enough money in their account, so the check is dishonored check, or the negative confirmation will be given. Each check will contain the item expiry time. So within how much time the confirmation has to be provided? Do the bank has 1 day to provide the confirmation? So it is said that for each check there will be a item expiry time which indicates the latest time by which confirmation has to be presented needs to be provided by the drawee bank. So basically for every check there will be an item expiry time. This is the maximum time limit that the drawee bank, in which the drawee bank has to respond. So for each and every check, so now there is no batch presentation, there is no batch processing system that is being followed. For every check there will be item expiry time which indicates the latest time, by which the confirmation has to be provided. Okay, so it sets a maximum time limit for the drawee bank to respond. If the drawee bank doesn't respond within the given time limit, then the check will be deemed approved by the drawee bank and is included in the settlement cycle. Okay, so what is this item expiry time? How much time is being given to the drawee bank? So the time available for inward processing during the phase 1, that is from October 4 to January 2, 2026. So this is the phase 1 in which the drawee bank shall be required to confirm positively or negatively that the check is honored or the check is dishonored. The settlement will happen or the settlement will not happen. So the positive or negative confirmation has to be presented latest by the end of the confirmation session by 7 p.m. That means if today, let's say if today you have deposited a check at 11 a.m. So today at like 11 a.m. as soon as the bank can, the presenting bank where you have deposited the check will pass on the check details to the clearing house. The clearing house on the continuous basis will pass on the check details to the drawee bank. Okay, now the drawee bank that has got the details has to confirm the check that the check is honored or the check is dishonored in the phase 1 by 7 p.m. okay, on the same day. Now in phase 2 from January 3, 2026, the item expiry time of check shall be changed to T+3 clearing hours. That means if the check has been received in between 10 a.m. to 11 a.m., this will have to be confirmed positively or negatively. Positive or negative confirmation has to be given by 2 p.m. that is within 3 hours from 11 a.m. So 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. in this time period, if you are depositing the check, and in this time period if the check is getting like the check details are going to the clearing house and they are going to the drawee bank, so the item expiry time of checks shall be changed to T+3 clear hours from January 3, 2026. For example, if the checks received by the drawee bank so drawee bank is receiving the check in between this time period 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. So within 3 hours, that is by 2 p.m. the check has to be confirmed positively or negatively. If within 3 hours the check is not getting confirmed, then the confirmation will be taken automatically that yes, automatically the check has been confirmed positively. So in the phase 1, that is from October 4 to January 2, 2026, the item expiry time for all checks will be 7 p.m. from the drawee bank. The confirmation has to go by 7 p.m. The expiry time in the phase 2 from January 3, 2026, the expiry time for each check is T+3 clearing hours. This is the idea, okay? So now we have discussed about the confirmation session that is going to be from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. from the drawee bank. The confirmation has to be provided either the positive confirmation or negative confirmation. For each check, there is the item expiry time in the phase 1 by 7 p.m. and in the phase 2 T+3 hours. That is, if the drawee bank has received the check in between 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. so within 3 hours the check has to be confirmed, otherwise it will be taken approved. processing by the drawing bank. So then after the positive confirmation, let's say positive confirmation has come, so processing by drawee banks is to be done continuously. So continuously there should be processing that should happen, or if the confirmation has to be provided, processing should happen continuously. So processing by drawee bank is to be done continuously throughout the day and on the real-time basis as soon as the check images are received. So the drawee bank should not wait till the end of the confirmation cycle. The drawee bank should not wait till the end of the time. The drawee bank should continuously keep on clearing the checks. As soon as the check is coming to the drawee bank should provide the confirmation. Information of positive and negative confirmation shall be sent by the drawee bank to the clearing house immediately after the processing. So processing should happen on the continuous basis so that the bank is not waiting till the end of the confirmation cycle. Even if the item expiry time is given, even if time is given to the drawee bank for the confirmation, but confirmation should be done on the continuous basis. The bank should not be waiting, okay, for the end of the time. And as soon as the confirmation, positive confirmation or negative confirmation, in this case the information has to be given to the clearing house. Once the clearing house receives the confirmation that okay, there is positive confirmation, the settlement can continue. Okay, in the case of negative confirmation, there will be no settlement that will happen. So no accounting entries or there is no settlement entries that will happen for the presentation of checks, because presentation of check is being done by the presenting bank that has received the check. So when the presenting bank is receiving the check and is passing this check details to the clearing house, and clearing house is passing this check details to the drawing bank, so this kind of pass on of the checks that is happening, the detail of the check is being passed on. So this kind of there is no accounting that is required here, only the check details are being passed on. So there is no accounting that is required here. So no accounting entries is required for the presentation of checks. Only when the checks are getting settled, only then the accounting details will be required for the positive or for the honored checks. For the honored checks, there will be settlement that will happen for the honored checks, and then the accounting will be done, or the details will be accounted. Okay, starting from 11 a.m. settlement will be arrived every hour till the end of the confirmation session. So from 11 a.m. till 7 p.m. because this is the end of the confirmation cycle, this is the end of the confirmation session. So from 11 a.m. till the 7 p.m. there will be settlement that will happen every hour. Okay, settlement will happen every hour for the positive confirmed or for the honored checks. The settlement should happen every hour till the end of the confirmation session based on the positive confirmations that is received from the drawee bank and check considered deemed approved. So no accounting entries shall be passed for checks with negative confirmation, because if there is negative confirmation, that means settlement is not happening. Okay, so basically after the confirmation has been given, the positive confirmation or the negative confirmation, this has to be passed to the clearing house from the drawee bank. If there is the positive confirmation, that means the check is honored and the money will be transferred, the money will be settled. So the settlement cycle is from 11 a.m. till the end of the confirmation cycle, that is 7 p.m. From 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. on the hourly basis, the settlement will be done from the drawee bank, and this will be accounted. The settlement will be accounted that the drawee bank has sent the money for settlement to the presenting bank. Okay, so this is the settlement. That settlement is happening, that the drawee bank is giving the money to the presenting bank. So in the new check truncation system, only those checks that are actually cleared, honored or deemed approved will be settled. That is, accounting entries between the banks will be made only when the check is confirmed positive. Okay, so first of all, for presenting of the checks, there will be no accounting entries that will happen, because only the checks are being presented. They can have positive confirmation, they can have negative confirmation. If the check has negative confirmation, there is no accounting entry that is required, because the check is not being accounted, the check is not being settled. If there is the positive confirmation, that is check is honored, check has to be settled then from 11 a.m. till 7 p.m. on the hourly basis. With so settlement will arrive every hour till the end of the confirmation session. This is the idea, and the settlement is happening, that is, from the drawee bank the money is being settled to the presenting bank. From the drawee bank the money is going to the presenting bank through the clearing house. Once the presenting bank has received the money So once the presenting bank, that is State Bank of India, has received the money, the State Bank of India should transfer the money to the customer, okay, XYZ. So basically on completion of the settlement, that is once the money has been transferred from the drawee bank to the presenting bank, once the money has been transferred for the check, clearing house shall release the information of the positive and negative confirmations to the presenting bank. So the clearing house has to confirm this settlement. Okay, presenting bank has to verify, okay, the settlement has happened or not. Actually, the presenting bank has received the money or not. Okay, so presenting bank shall process the same and verify the same and release the payment to the customer immediately, but not later than 1 hour from the successful settlement. So basically, when the drawee bank is giving the money, so drawing bank has to settle the money and has to transfer the money to the presenting bank through the clearing house. So the settlement should happen of the money for the positive confirmed checks or for the honored checks. The drawee bank has to transfer the money to the presenting bank. Once the presenting bank has received the money, so clearing house has to verify that, okay, the settlement has happened and the details has to be shared by the clearing house to the presenting bank. Then the presenting bank should verify that, okay, it has received the money in its accounts or in its with itself, the money has been received. Then the presenting bank shall process the same and release the payment to the customer. Then the the presenting bank will transfer the money to the customer's account, to the XYZ account, and this should happen in the continuous manner. Continuously the checks have to be cleared. Any confusion anyone has in today's session? So this is it. If you have understood everything, that is good. If there is any confusion, do ask me. So basically we have discussed the whole check truncation system. There is the continuous clearing that has been allowed, okay, and this is as per the Statement on Development and Regulatory Policy document of August 2024. The check truncation system has been allowed with the continuous clearing. Before it was happening in the batch processing, before the batches were present and the checks were cleared in the batches, okay, so they were cleared with the other checks in the batches, but now there will be continuous clearing that will happen, okay. So presentation session, so there is a single presentation session where you can present your check with your bank, and that bank will process the check and will transfer the check details to the clearing house, and this clearing house will present the check to the drawee bank. The drawee bank has to provide the confirmation within the given time limit, okay. So within the given time limit, the confirmation has to be provided by the drawee bank, and after the confirmation, the continuous confirmation should happen even though the time limit has been given, but the confirmation should be continuous. The time limit is just the extreme time that you can take, that's it, okay, but the confirmation should be given on the continuous basis. Even though you have got the time limit, but you should do it in the continuous basis, and the positive confirmation or the negative confirmation has to be informed to the clearing house. Once there is a positive confirmation, for that the settlement should happen from the drawee bank to the presenting bank, okay. And once the presenting bank has received the money, clearing house should inform the presenting bank, and presenting bank should verify and release the money to the customer within not later than 1 hour from the successful settlement. This is the idea. Now this is the first question. I hope you will be easily able to answer this question. You have to tell that which of the following statement is or are true in this regards. Now this is the second question. What is the duration of the check presentation session under the updated CTS framework by the presenting bank? So try to answer this question, okay. So this is the idea. Now before ending the session, if you want to do the answer writing practice, for that you have a perspective 360-degree series in which the answer writing practice you can do, and the hot topics, the new topics, the current topics are taken in the perspective 360-degree series, where the current topics are discussed and the questions from the current topics are discussed, okay. So this is the idea. Now here you can see that the current topics are being taken and they are being discussed. The questions are also given in the series where the answers are discussed in the session itself, as well as homework questions are given that you can answer in the comment section below, and they will get checked or they will get reviewed within 48 hours. You will get the feedback also, okay. Now this series is on Monday, Wednesday and Friday. So you can see the sessions on Monday, Wednesday and Friday at 5 p.m. Okay. So this is for your answer writing practice. So this is it for today. If you have any